Most people think bourbon is just bourbon, but that's one of the biggest myths in American whiskey. Two bottles can be made under the exact same bourbon laws, yet one tastes like rich caramel and vanilla, while another is packed with black pepper, cinnamon, and oak. So what's the difference? In the next few minutes, you'll discover every major type of bourbon, what makes each one unique, and how to choose the perfect bottle without wasting your money. If you enjoy whiskey content like this, hit the like button and subscribe for more easy-to-follow bourbon guides. Let's get started. 1. What makes a bourbon? A bourbon. Before we explore the different styles of bourbon, it's important to understand what legally makes a whiskey a bourbon. Contrary to popular belief, bourbon isn't defined by where it's made in Kentucky or by how long it's aged. Instead, it's defined by a strict set of federal regulations that every producer must follow. First, bourbon must be made in the United States. Its mash bill must contain at least 51% corn, which gives bourbon its signature sweetness. It must be distilled to no more than 160 proof, then entered into brand new charred oak barrels at no more than 125 proof. Finally, it must be bottled at a minimum of 80 proof. These rules create the foundation that every bourbon shares. But beyond those requirements, distillers can choose different grain recipes, aging times, warehouse locations, and production methods. Understanding these basics makes it much easier to appreciate the different types of bourbon we'll explore next. 2. Straight bourbon. Let's begin with the foundation of bourbon itself. Straight bourbon. If you only remember one style, this is the one. By law, a straight bourbon must be aged for at least 2 years and cannot contain any added flavors, colors, or other additives. If it's aged for less than 4 years, the exact age must be clearly stated on the label. These standards help ensure that every bottle delivers an honest expression of the whiskey inside. In the glass, straight Bourbon is what many people think of as the classic bourbon profile. Expect rich notes of vanilla and caramel from the charred oak's barrel, balanced by gentle oak flavors and a smooth, well-rounded finish. Some of the best-known examples include Wild Turkey 101, Evan Williams Bottled in Bond, and Buffalo Trace. 3. High Rye Bourbon. If you prefer a bourbon with a little more bite, High Rye Bourbon is worth exploring. While every bourbon must contain at least 51% corn, this style uses a higher percentage of rye in the mash bill, giving it a noticeably bolder and spicier character. Instead of leading with sweetness, High Rye Bourbon often delivers flavors of black pepper, cinnamon, and clove, followed by a drier finish. This style is especially popular with bourbon drinkers who enjoy a more robust flavor profile. Well-known examples include Four Roses, Old Grandad, and Bullet Bourbon. 4. Wheated Bourbon. If smoothness is what you're looking for, wheated bourbon is an excellent place to start. Instead of using rye as the secondary grain, this style replaces it with wheat. That single change has a remarkable effect on the whiskey's overall character. Wheat softens the flavor profile, creating a bourbon that is smoother, sweeter, and more approachable. You'll often notice notes of honey, fresh bread, vanilla, and soft caramel, with a creamy texture and a gentle finish. Compared to a high rye bourbon, there's less spice and more warmth, making it an easy sipper for almost any occasion. Because of its mellow character, wheated bourbon is often recommended for beginners or anyone who prefers a softer, more refined bourbon. Some of the most respected examples include Maker's Mark, Weller, and Larceny. 5. High Corn Bourbon. For those who enjoy a sweeter bourbon, High Corn Bourbon offers a distinctly rich and approachable experience. While all bourbon must contain at least 51% corn, this style uses an even higher percentage, often 70% or more, allowing the natural sweetness of the corn to take center stage. The result is a bourbon with smooth flavors of caramel, butterscotch, sweet corn, vanilla, and a hint of buttered toast. Compared to spicier styles like High Rye Bourbon, High Corn Bourbon is softer on the palate, with very little peppery spice and a mellow, easy drinking finish. It's equally enjoyable neat on the rocks or in simple cocktails where its sweetness can shine. Well-known examples include Old Forester 86 and Early Times. 6. Small Batch Bourbon. Next is Small Batch Bourbon, a term you'll see on many bourbon labels, but one that often causes confusion. Unlike straight bourbon or bottled in bond, small batch has no official legal definition. Instead, it generally refers to bourbon made by blending a limited number of carefully selected barrels to create a consistent and well-balanced flavor. Rather than highlighting the unique character of a single barrel, the goal of a small batch Bourbon is balance and consistency. By combining multiple barrels, distillers can achieve a richer, more complex whiskey with layers of vanilla, caramel, oak, and baking spices, while maintaining the same quality from one bottle to the next. Some of the best known examples include Elijah Craig Small Batch, Maker's Mark Small Batch, and 1792 Small Batch. 7. Single Barrel Bourbon. If you're looking for a truly one-of-a-kind bourbon, single barrel bourbon is hard to beat. As the name suggests, every bottle comes from one individual barrel rather than a blend of multiple barrels. That means each barrel develops its own unique character during aging, influenced by factors such as its location in the warehouse, temperature changes, and the wood itself. Because no two barrels age in exactly the same way, every release can taste slightly different. One barrel may highlight rich caramel and vanilla, while another offers deeper oak, dark fruit, or bold spice. This natural variation is exactly what makes single-barrel bourbon so appealing to many whiskey enthusiasts. Single-barrel bourbons are often chosen by drinkers who enjoy discovering subtle differences from one bottle to the next. Some of the most respected examples include Blanton's, Four Roses Single Barrel, and Russell's Reserve Single Barrel. 8. Bottled in Bond Bourbon. Few labels carry as much history and trust as Bottled in Bond. This designation was created under the Bottled in Bond Act of 1897 to protect consumers from misleading or low-quality whiskey, and it remains one of the most respected standards in American bourbon today. To earn the Bottled in Bond label, a bourbon must be produced by a single distiller at a single distillery during one distilling season. It must be aged for at least 4 years in a federally bonded warehouse and bottled at exactly 100 proof. These strict requirements ensure consistency, authenticity, and quality in every bottle. The result is a bourbon that is often richer and more flavorful than many standard expressions, with a balanced combination of caramel, vanilla, oak, and spice. Popular examples include Evan Williams' Bottled in Bond, Old Forester, 1897, Bottled in Bond, and New Riff Bottled in Bond. 9. Barrel Proof Bourbon. If you want to experience bourbon in its purest and most powerful form, barrel proof bourbon is the style to try. Also known as cask strength, this bourbon is bottled straight from the barrel with little or no added water, preserving the whiskey at its natural proof. Because it isn't significantly diluted before bottling, barrel-proof bourbon is typically much stronger than standard bourbon, often ranging from around 110 to 140 proof or even higher. The higher proof delivers a more concentrated flavor, revealing bold layers of caramel, vanilla, toasted oak, dark chocolate, baking spices, and a long warming finish. Despite its strength, barrel-proof bourbon isn't just about higher alcohol. Many enthusiasts appreciate it because it offers the closest experience to tasting whiskey directly from the barrel. Some of the best-known examples include Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, Stag, and Wild Turkey Rare Breed. As you've seen, every bourbon follows the same legal foundation, but the choice of grains, aging methods, barrel selection, and proof creates an incredible range of flavors and styles. Whether you prefer a smooth wheated bourbon, a bold high rye, or an intense barrel proof, there's a bourbon that's perfect for your taste. If you found this guide helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more easy to follow bourbon and whiskey guides. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.